So yeah, there was a time when I had two babies and they are still currently young at the moment, but post babies, I just felt like, I used to wear a lot of color beforehand, a lot of blazers, a lot of um I was a very stylish type of person, but post babies, it's like I lost myself, I lost my identity, I had to get rid of like the clothes that I had. In my mind, I felt like I had to get rid of all my clothes because they didn't fit anymore. So I thought, okay, let me enter this new phase. But I didn't really upgrade the clothes that I stepped into. I wore more black, I wore more leggings, more black t-shirts because, wearing anything else, you know you're gonna get messy because of the milk or any dirt that ends up on you from the little ones. But my identity became more dark just simply because of the clothes that I was wearing. And it affected my mental state because when you don't show up fully, your mind thinks and believes that. And I kept on hearing, you're not good enough, you're too much, you don't belong here, you're doing too little. And that's the inner critic just coming in to say that, hey, you're not I'm pushing you to do more, but and you will never be enough. And sometimes you have to really just question where did I pick that up from? Because it wasn't me. Where did I pick that up from? And I knew that it wasn't my true voice because it's like I was going against myself. I felt like I was an imposter to myself. And it was controlling my life. It was controlling how I showed up. It made me hide. It made me live in lack. It made me just question a lot of things. And it wasn't until I'm sure you guys can relate. I'm just seeing the chats go off. And the loudest voice will always lead your life. So whether that's positive or negative, your mind decides on which voice it's gonna lean towards. So when it comes to your inner critic, you need to kind of deal with like I call it the CCJ comparison, um, being critical and judgmental. Those three things, if you're constantly doing that, it's going to keep you hostage. It's going to keep you away from who you truly are. Because if you're constantly in that cycle, I know for me, I felt like I was constantly in one of those three things, critiquing myself, judging myself, comparing myself. Um, and yes, I was just seeing in the chat, the loudest voice will always lead your life, honestly. Um, And it wasn't until I realized I had to just stop because I looked in the mirror. I think I was in the lift one time. I was like, I don't look like myself. I don't look like myself. I remember I locked my hair that period, and I was like, I do not look like who I want to be. And I knew I wasn't where I wanted to be, but I knew within myself I didn't look where I wanted to be, and I had enough of the voices. I had enough of dealing, like living a life that's not true to me, living a life that will impact my children. I wanted to change it because I had enough of the voices. I had enough of thinking that, that I wanted to just hide because the voices just kept on expanding and growing, and it was making me behave in a negative way. And I just want to share with you 7 lessons that helped me unplug the inner bully, which was my mind. Your mind is a mic. The voice you give, the loudest mic will lead your life. Choose wisely. Who's in control? You decide. You decide. So number two, which is the critical comparison, is a trap. Stop trying to be like everyone else. You have a unique mission, own it. And I know sometimes we can see everyone on social media is doing different stuff, or you want to be on a certain path, on a certain timeline. But just know and believe you are where you are meant to be. And something I always say, look at your feet. That's where you are meant to be. And that's enough, and you are good enough. Number three, which is judgment is not the same as discernment. The voice of judgment creates division, but discernment leads you to growth. So allow yourself to be discerning. Judgment will it can be a bit harsh at times. Number four, you can't perform your way to peace. It's not gonna happen. Peace is an internal job and you have to do that work on the inside. So take the time to nurture the peace that's on the inside. Number five, which is visibility, visibility begins with self-belief. You can't show up in your full brilliance if you don't first believe you are worthy in the spotlight. And I know I had to do a lot of internal work to really just understand that, hold on, I am worthy. If we look at our, when babies come into this world, they don't have to do anything. They just are. They simply are being, they are simply existing. So why, as as grown as we are, why can't we feel the same? Because we are worthy, we are lovable, you know, we are whole. We are actually not broken, but it might be something that has happened to us that has told us that we are broken. And number six, turn the volume down on the inner bully. Mute that critic so your inner wisdom and brilliance can be heard clearly. Because if the mic is tuned up and, blasting out loud to the critic, it's going to take over. And number seven, the rebuild is spiritual first. The rebuild is spiritual first. A healthy mindset leads to aligned actions. You feel more at peace and you start doing the true inner work. And inner truths that you need to hear today. Just because you didn't receive the love you needed growing up doesn't mean you're unlovable. You've always been worthy of loves. So start giving that to yourself. Just because you experience trauma does not mean you have to live traumatized. I think this was a pin drop for me a while back. You just because you are in your trauma, just because you've experienced trauma, doesn't mean you have to live traumatized. You can heal through what you've been through. And peace is it's your right, and you are allowed to rise. The next point, which is just because you weren't told you were special, does not mean you're not. You are chosen, you are set apart and filled with the gifts the world really needs. So if you're harboring that gift, release it, share it, and show up, and it'll get perfect along the way. Next point that I've learned along my way, which is just because you are overlooked doesn't mean you are forgotten. You have always been seen by God, and now it's time to fully see who you are. The next point that I've learned as well, just because you've been hidden doesn't mean you're meant to stay there. This is your reveal season, your step out season to be unapologetic, to be a light and to serve. My next point, which is just because you've been down doesn't mean you're meant to be held down. You rise because that's who you are, a warrior in a woman form. So rise up. This is rebuild season. The next point, which is you are not counted out, you are counted in. And for a long time, I felt like I was counted out. I felt like I wasn't good enough. But I realized, no, God's always given me everything that I needed right on time. And it's up to me to cultivate that gift on the inside. And you are part of his plan, sis. And let me say this clearly, especially for the multi-talented ladies in here. You are multi-talented, multifaceted, and a powerhouse of a woman. You might have felt shame at a certain point. You've tried to tone it down or try and be like someone else or fit into a box. Just know you were never made for that. You are meant to boldly stand up and beautifully just really show up as who you are and who God has called you to be. And you have a brand, you have a voice, and you are powerful. So keep on showing up. And you don't need to become someone else to be successful. I've tried that, it don't work. I don't know if anyone has tried that, it doesn't work. Oh, two-pound doses. Oh Lord. We got the T word, the T word, the T word. Lord God. Okay. I'm just seeing the chats. Oh dear. I'll send the bunnies. I'll send the bunnies. Oh gosh. But anyways, we move. Your brand is you and your presence is powerful. You don't need to become someone else to be successful. You need to come back home to yourself. I just want to share with you, which is when you finally accept every part of you, the creative, the deep feeler, the visionary, the leader, the bold woman, the vulnerable one, you create the safe space you've always needed. Your healing, your visibility, and brand alignment begin with one powerful decision to stop hiding, to accept yourself fully, and to give yourself permission to be seen. Because the version of you that shines, she's not made up. She's the real you. So it's time to rebuild and create. And I know Nikki, she's created this lovely powerhouse, creative. beautiful group called the Rebuild. And if you are not part of it, definitely join. This is your sign to join. Because there's women that, are showing up confidently, they are showing up boldly, they are showing up, and it's so inspiring to be around, and that is priceless. And to be in a community that shows love, even I was I was gonna struggle to come here today because time of the month, I'm gonna keep it real. Time of the month really kept me hostage. I was just like, I don't want to do this today. But after
Oh,
to a lovely rebuild queen, she was like, "Girl, you got this. Just show up as you. Just do you, and it will be okay." And sometimes, the inner critic again will come up and be like, "You have to be perfect. You have to show up as your most highest self." And don't get me wrong, I do believe in that, but allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to be human because that's all you got. You can't be performing every single day. It's not healthy and it's not sustainable. And just to end off with, you've always had the mic. You just need to take it back, unmute your voice, rebuild your mind, and let the world experience the real visible you. And if you are not part of the group, I'm just going to share the link here. Uh, there we go. I'll just share that here. Definitely join because your life will not be the same. You can't afford to hide. You'll have ladies, accountability partners that will keep you on track and will check in and be honest with you. And if you're looking to, update your brand and you want to step out boldly, you need social, like some social, like Canva templates. I do create that. So definitely check out my store, if needed. But yeah, hope you were inspired. Hope you have a lovely day. And yeah, no, thank you, ladies, for joining. And yeah, have a great weekend and a good Friday. All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you.